Hello and welcome to our newly constructed raceway, and also welcome to the first ever episode of the Furious 5 Diecast Drag Racing Series. As you can see, we have our Furious 5 are staged here and ready, along with our first competitor from Strictly Diecast. Looks like they are unloading the Porsche off the trailer right now, getting ready for racing. Racing rules are pretty simple. The competitor will start at the bottom of the ladder. Each racer gets one run in each lane. Whoever puts down the fastest time will move their way up the ladder to the next competitor. And for our current ladder for the Furious 5, in the 5th position, we have Jesse in his Volkswagen Jetta. We have Brian in his R34 Skyline, and also Brian in 3rd with the Mark IV Toyota Supra. And for spot 1 and 2, we have Dom in his Dodge Charger, and we have Johnny Tran in the S2000. Looks like our first two competitors are getting warmed up and ready for the first race. All right, we have both drivers staged up at the start line. We are getting ready for our first race. Let's see how Strictly matches up against Jesse in his Volkswagen Jetta. In 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like Jesse just barely edges out Strictly in his Porsche Carrera, but we will switch lanes and run it again. All right, race number 2, Strictly Diecast needs to do better than a 1.30 in order to advance on. And 3, 2, 1, go. And he does, but also Jesse runs a better time, trapping a 1.2882. So it looks like Strictly will not be cracking into the Furious 5 today. So even though Strictly did not crack the list here, we are going to continue on up the ladder and see if we have any other movement. Here we have Jesse taking on the number 4 spot, which is Brian O'Connor in the R34 Skyline. So let's see how it goes. 3, 2, 1, go. And Brian edges him out with a 1.286. Race 2, drivers have switched lanes. Jesse needs to beat a 1.26 to move up. And 3, 2, 1, go. And Brian puts down an even faster time at a 1.2800. So Jesse will remain in that number 5 spot. And next up, Brian will be taking on, I guess, body double Brian, but it's going to be Supra versus R34 Skyline, so this should be a great matchup. Race 1, in 3, 2, 1, go. And Brian in the Supra with our fastest time of the day, a 1.26. Wow. Drivers switch lanes for race number 2, and 3, 2, 1, go. And those were both slower times, so it looks like Brian in the Supra will remain in the number 3 spot. Now, if this is not a classic matchup, then I don't know what is. Here we have Brian in the Supra versus Dom in the Dodge Charger. And race number 1, Dom versus Brian. Who will be victorious? And 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like Dom edges him out with a 1.25. Wow, that was a great time. Drivers have switched lanes for race number 2, and 3, 2, 1, go. And Dom again with the astounding victory there. So it looks like Dom will remain number 2. So let's see if he can take on Johnny Tran for the number 1 spot. This should be a great matchup. As you know, Johnny Tran, more than 100 grand under the hood of that car versus Dom's Charger. And for our final matchup of the night here, Dom versus Johnny Tran for the number 1 spot on the Furious 5. Here in 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, Dom really came out of the gates hard there with a 1.25. Wow. So drivers have switched lanes. The time to beat is a 1.2527. And for the final race in 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like Johnny Tran did top it with a 1.2498. Wow. So he will remain in that #1 spot. And that is going to wrap things up for today. It looks like Johnny Tran will stay amongst the top of the Furious 5. So now you kind of know where the bar has been set here for the races. So unfortunately, Strictly Diecast is going to have to bring something a little faster next time. But until then, stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next race. Peace.